Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 526, we're going to talk about Bladewing the Risen. This is the old Scourge printing back when Bladewing was rare. For 7 mana, we get a 4/4 flyer, which doesn't, there's nothing to write home about, but when Bladewing comes into play, you may return target dragon card from your graveyard to play. That's pretty good. And then a red and a black colon, all dragons get +1/+1. So this is clearly a dragon commander that wants to do black-red dragon things. So it's kind of a simpler deck for a simpler time. What was that? 2003. EDH was still in its infancy, but let's look at it now. Dragons typically aren't cheap. They don't cost 2 and 3 mana most of the time. Our commander here is 7, so we've got to have a little bit of ramp, So here's what we've got. First off, we do have the Dragons Get Cheaper cards in Dragon Lord Servant and Dragon Speaker Shaman to get those costs down. Now, we're not going to get both of them, but even one is good. But then we've got our artifact package: Talisman of Indulgence, Bloodstone Cameo, Pristine Talisman, Rakdos Signet, Rakdos Cluestone, Rakdos Keyrune, Rakdos Locket, the whole Rakdos suite, and Colligan Monument. Now, Dragon's Horde was just made for the deck. It taps for a mana of any color, but you also get some card draw off of it. When a dragon enters the battlefield, you get a gold counter on it. You remove a gold counter, draw a card. So it's a really good 3 mana rock. I mean, we play 3 mana with those first 2 lines not even being on there. Just tap for a mana of any color. I have played that at times, but Dragon's Horde, this is exactly what we want. Then, of course, I have Spell Ramp and Dark Ritual and Mana Geyser. Mana Geyser being... Obviously, this deck is going to lean way more toward red than black. So having this one spell that gives us just a ton of red mana is going to help out quite a bit. So let's look at our dragon, shall we? Now, we do have a couple of cheap ones. Let's do them first. Slumbering Dragon. A creature attacks you or a walker you control, put a 1/1 counter on it. It can't do anything unless it's got 5 counters on it. But, by then you're looking at an 8/8, so that's kind of not bad. Dragon Hatchling is small on the curve, but it does have fire breathing. Sarkhan's Whelp. We are playing with a Sarkhan Walker. The Sarkhan that actually turns himself into a dragon. And whenever a creature attacks you, each dragon you control deals 1 damage to that creature. So I don't know that we're going to have a whole bunch of dragons out, but it's possible. Let's see what we got. We cannot have a dragon deck without the original dragon, one Shivan Shivan dragon. It's what started it all. Let's face it. And I'm going to try to pull back here to get rid of some of that glare. We have a Flame Blast dragon, Steel Hellkite, Forge Stoker dragon, Noxious dragon, Dream Pillager, Colligan the Storm's Fury. While Colligan doesn't, it ain't a bad rate. 5 mana, 4/5 flyer, and then whenever a dragon you control, so this is going to trigger off each time a dragon. If you attack with 3, all your dragons are going to get +3 to the front. And of course, you got the dash thing here. It gains haste, and it's returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand. So this is going to trigger if you dash it. Now, you're dashing it for the same cost. There's no, penalty for it. But if you're just trying to get those Dragon Horde gold tokens so you can draw cards, that's a thing too. Covetous Dragon, I felt safe that we had enough artifacts to where the Covetous Dragon was worth running. Also, I got autographed by RK. Awesome. Bone Dragon. Scourge of Valkas. Now, Utvara Hellkite is a dragon staple. It's just got to attack. It don't have to deal combat damage. Just attack. And then those 6/6 dragon tokens that you get, when you attack with those, you get more. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Varric's Bladewing. Shivan Hellkite. Bogarden Hellkite. Demanding Dragon. Drakuseth. The Tyrant. Opportunistic. And when we just want to blow up all the other creatures. Sign in Blood, Painful Lesson. Now, the red ones here, we got to read the bones, but the red ones kind of do a double duty here with Thrill of Possibility, Tormenting Voice, and Cathartic Reunion, because those, if we have not cast our commander yet, we can ditch the high cost, and then once we play Bladewing, it can get one of those back. Now, for I don't know, Dragon Ancillary cards. Flame Shadow Conjuring, while not dragony, it's certainly value-y. Because whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, you can pay a red. You get a copy of it. The copy gains haste and exile it. So that's really good. Crucible of Fire, of course, to make the dragons biggish. Fearsome Awakening. There again to get one of those dragons back, and it's more than likely going to be a dragon in this deck, you know, so it's going to get those 2+1/+1 counters. And then just Beacon of Unrest. I forget a lot that the beacons shuffle back in, but that's what makes them so awesome. So because we are leaned a lot more toward the higher end, we have a lot more removal. And nothing says Dragon Deck more than Crux of Fate. I mean, it's just the perfect card for the deck. We have Dreadbore, great spot removal. Terminate, Shattering Pulse, Murder, Doomblade. I'm counting Rakdos Charm as because it does destroy an artifact, but there are other uses for it, obviously. Pyroclasm. Fire Covenant, I'm a big fan of. Electro Dominance. Yeah, to any target, and you can cast a card. So if you get the Electro Dominance big enough, you're going to get a free dragon out of the deal, right? Biforce. Innocent Blood. Magma Quake hits only creatures without flying, so most of your dragons are protected there. Yahini's Expertise. Kind of a Pyroclasm-ish type effect. More than likely, we're going to cast Yahini's Expertise early to clear out all the small things and get a free mana rock out of the deal, which is fine. Spitflame. Really like Spitflame. Just a reusable 4 damage over and over. And then in Garruk's Wake being the perfect board wipe. So, let's see. Non-basics. This is pretty much what you would expect. We have Smoldering Marsh, Occam's Refuge, Urborg Volcano, Rakdos Carnarium, Cinder Barrens, Bloodfell Caves, Rakdos Guildgate, Evolving Wilds, and one card left. Y'all know what it is. Rogue's Passage. For when we got to get that commander damage in there. So, like I said, the Bladewing, it's a pretty straightforward deck. Play dragons, turn them sideways. I mean, it's put this back in here. I've got I've got my 6/6 dragon tokens. Were there any more? I don't think there was any more tokens needed for the deck. I've got my 6/6 ones from the Commander product. But that is deck number 526. Well, that went kind of quick. We're just over 10 minutes. So we'll put 526 on the wall. Call it done. You can tell I've had that deck in the works for a while, just simply because of the kind of sleeves it was in. It was because currently I'm building in pink right now. The only other sleeves I have left are the ones that the old decks I had started, but I haven't actually finished yet. All of Theros will be in pink, and anything I've since started since I got the pink in, obviously. But I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. Pretty straightforward dragon deck. But right now, we're gonna shuffle and cut.